boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D, Better Off Reading Every Day. Today, we are feeling a bit fancy. This kind of fancy. Yes, we are feeling like some Fancy Nancy. And I am reading Fancy Nancy, The Show Must Go On by Jane O'Connor, pictures based on the art by Robin Prius Glasser, and Fancy Nancy, Poet Extraordinaire. The show must go on. Quiet, please, says Miss Glass. I have an announcement. That means she has something important to tell us. The talent show is in a week. Yay, Bree, I bump fist. We have our act planned out already. We will wear fancy circus costumes. We will sing a song. It is about darling girls on a trapeze. Then Miss Glass says, I am assigning partners. Oh no, that means we don't get to choose. I am not assigned to Bree. I am assigned to Lionel. He is very shy. I hardly know him. Miss Glass wants us to brainstorm with our partner. That means talk over ideas. So I asked Lionel, do you like to sing? He says no. He does not like to sing or tell jokes. He can wiggle his ears, he can crack his fingers, he can balance a spoon on his nose. Very cool, I say, but I can't do those things. We need to perform together. Perform is a fancy word for act. That night, I say Bree and Yoko, I say Bree and Yoko are partners. They will do a fan dance and wear kimonos. I explain that a kimono is a fancy Japanese robe. Lionel and I can't think of anything to do. I sigh a deep sigh, and now I won't get to wear my circus costume. Mom says, ask Lionel over. Get to know each other. It will help you plan and act. On Saturday, I asked Lionel over, but his mom can't drop him off. So Dad drives me to Lionel's house. Ooh la la, it's very fancy. It is almost a mansion. Lionel's room is huge. Huge is much bigger than big. There are lots of toy lions. Oh, I get it, I say. You like lions because your name is Lionel. I pick up a little glass lion. This is adorable, I say. I tell him. I like fancy words, and adorable is fancy for cute. Lionel shows me a lion mask. Wow, I say. It's great. He put on the mask. Grrr, Lionel says and chases me. We race all over the house. Help, help, I yell. Later we have snacks. You're a great lion, I tell Lionel. Then I get an extremely great idea. Let's do a circus act. You can be the lion, I can be the lion tamer. I always have a costume. Lionel likes the idea. Yay! The next week we get together many times to rehearse. That's a fancy word, means practice. Still, we are nervous on the day of the show. We hear Miss Glass announce, "Here is Lady Lullabelle and a man-eating lion." The curtain opens up. Lionel jumps through the hoop. Lionel walks on a pretend tightrope. Then he soars and chases me. "Don't eat me," I cry. "Eat this instead." I hand Lionel a large lollipop. He starts licking it and purring. Then I curtsy and he bows. Our act is over. There is a loud applause. That's a fancy word for clapping. I hear my dad shout, "Bravo!" We all go out for ice cream. I give Lionel a clay lion I made. And guess what? He teaches me to balance a spoon on my nose. Fancy Nancy, fancy words. Adorable means cute. Announcement, something important to tell. Applause, clapping, a sign, to choose something for someone else. Brainstorm, to talk over lots of ideas. Bravo, way to go. Kimono, a fancy Japanese robe. Mansion, a very fancy house. Perform, to act, or dance or sing. Rehearse, to practice. Fancy Nancy, fancy words. That's it, boys and girls, for Fancy Nancy, the show must go on. Let's go to book 2. This one is Poet Extraordinaire. Ooh. Our class is doing a survey, which means you ask a bunch of people the same questions. What is your favorite poem? And then you write down their answers. Here's my sister's favorite. I asked Miss Glass if nursery rhymes counted as poems. She said, absolutely. I took this photo. My sister is pretending she is John. My dad's favorite is Blown in the Wind by Bob Dylan. It's a song, and the lyrics, which are the words, also count as poetry. Mrs. Devine, my neighbor, grows all kinds of flowers. Her favorite poem is the very first one learned when she was a girl. My mom loves poems that tell a story. She read Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe to me. It's about a beautiful princess who has died and the guy who will go on loving her forever. This poem is sad. It's tragic. Warning, I bet reading this poem will make you cry too. I called my grandpa. He likes limericks. They are funny poems that always have 5 lines that rhyme. This is the one I liked. Anonymous means nobody knows who wrote it. They are lots of fancy words in a poem. Today we make a poetry in classroom. Get it? A poet tree. Sounds like poetry. Each paper leaf will have a poem that we composed. To compose something means you write it yourself. We're going to read our poems to our family on Family Day. I haven't written mine yet. I want it to be great. Robert was worried his poem was too short, but look what Miss Glass wrote on the back of the leaf. Miss Glass showed everybody how to make a poem out of names. You write the letters in a column, and then each letter you think of a word that describes something about you. Here's Carla. She was getting over a cold when she wrote it. Palace of Poetry. Maybe you already know that Bree and I have a club. We look for insects and other interesting stuff in nature. Now after school we go to our clubhouse to write poetry. We call it our Palace of Poetry. Inspiration. We don't talk much, but sometimes we put the radio on. Music often gives you inspiration. That is fancy word for something that helps you get good ideas. Bree wrote this poem today. Now she can make another leaf for the poetry at school. How come writing poetry is so easy for Bree? Later, I tell Mom I am stuck. I can think of anything good to write. I can't think of anything good to write. Everything sounds stupid. My mom says, take a refreshing, relaxing bath. Close your eyes and I bet an idea will pop into your head. So that's what I do. I add lots of bubble bath for inspiration. I stay in the bathtub for a long time. When I get out, I am very clean and my fingers are all pruned. But still, I don't have any good ideas for a poem. Writer's block. When I tell Miss Glass about being stuck, she says, oh, that's called writer's block. It happens to everybody. I'll go away. It'll go away. Here's what else we talk about. A poem doesn't have to rhyme, right? That's right. Bree's poems are about hiccups. They don't rhyme. So, is any poem as long as the words are short lines? Is anything a poem? No, poems are special. The words have rhythm and are fun to read out loud. Often a poem makes a picture in words. Are there other rules? Well, some kinds of poems have rules, but lots of poems don't. That's why writing them is fun. Then Miss Glass says, you're creative. I'm sure you will write a wonderful poem. I am not sure about that. After school, I want to go straight to the Palace of Poetry, but I can't. We need to find a birthday present and a card for my grandfather. There are so many birthday cards, it is hard to choose. Nearly everyone has a poem inside. There are also cards for special people, like a best friend or someone who's sick. Suddenly I get an idea for a poem, an idea that is superb. At home I sit down with my notebook and pen with a plume. Little by little I get inspiration. On Family Day, I read my poem. I read with a lot of emotion. That's fancy for feelings. Later, Miss Glass whispers, I am so flattered. What you wrote, Nancy, is called an ode. That's a poem that says what is special about someone. An ode. How fancy. Anytime I find a poem I love, I put it in this book I'm making. Favorite Poems of Nancy M. Clancy. I actually don't have a middle name, but I like to add M because it looks fancy. the end, boys and girls, of Fancy Nancy, Poet Extraordinaire. Cute book, right? Yes. So we have The Show Must Go On and Fancy Nancy, Poet Extraordinaire. Boys and girls, wanted to share these two fancy books with you today. You know, woke up this morning feeling kind of fancy for whatever reason. Just wanted to play dress up because I miss my dress up girls so much. So I thought I would read a book and dress up with you guys. Here is my purse. Oh yes. Oh, of course I was. Here it is. Can you see it? All right. Let me get this thing together. Can you see it? Look. It's my purse. My purse is actually a book. Oh yeah, that's my purse. I have my scarf right here, so we're gonna throw it over us. And if we were on the runway, we would walk and we would turn again, look over the shoulder, step back, wrap it around, throw it over the head. Just mess around. You can do anything you want when you have your own very own fashion show at home. Take your purse, put it next to you. Hi, I'm Fancy Miss Reynolds. What's your name? Fancy meeting you here. It's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. And it has been my pleasure to bring these Fancy Nancy books to you. I hope that today you will just get out there, get some stuff together and play dress up, and maybe even have some tea while you're at it. So, I'm going to get going. It was very nice to hang out with you. Bye.